Alright, so if you're having trouble getting into first and second before going to a mechanic and this, that, and especially if you've done your own clutch and throwout bearing like I did, or just clutch, either way, you torn all this apart before and you put it back together. Now, I couldn't seem to find it anywhere, so I missed this step. But when I put this plate back on, it's your reverse lockout. And there's just the 4 bolts. Anyway, so when I put it back in, I kind of eyeballed it to put it back in and figured, oh, whatever, it's good enough. And for some weird reason, I didn't think that was going to be a big deal. So I went through all the other things, and I haven't gone to a mechanic yet, but I've been dinking around trying to figure out the problem. So I finally found another video, and I can only find the one, so that's why I'm making this one. Anyway, so you loosen the 4 bolts, and you're going to move your reverse lockout deal. It's just a top plate on here, and just loosen them anyway, and tap it to the left just a couple, just a smidgen, and then go ahead and, you know, tighten them down, and then go for a drive and see if you can get into first and second just fine. If your reverse is crappy, just go into another gear and then go into reverse. That seems to be common. Every stick shift I've had has done that. It just seems to be common. But to get all of this apart, I'll try to... And then to get the center console out, what you'll want to do is get something tiny and flat, and then you can peel back the rubber, and you get that out of the way. And there'll be 2 Phillips here, or actually they were 10 mils, but either way, yeah, there's 2 of these. And then you'll want to give this a tug, and once that loosens and breaks free, then you'll see a tab on the back. You'll take that off, get that out of your way, and then you'll want to pop the sides. There's one on either side. I believe I think the whole entire deal pops off, but you can get away with just popping these corners off. And then you'll see 2 screws here. You'll take out those 2 screws, and then you'll want to take off the knob. I've already loosened it, and get that out of your way. Then you'll give the ring a tug, and you get that out, and you pop that up, and then be careful, because there's a little tab on the back side there on the bottom. I've only got 2 hands here. So you'll get that, pop it, slide it off, get that out of your way. And then there'll be 2 more screws here. You get those off. And then most of the things will tell you to take the shifter or the e-brake deal all apart and all that crap. Really, it's not necessary, even if you're replacing the clutch. Again, you don't need to get that crazy. And then just give it some wiggling, and eventually it should all break free. That way you can maneuver back and forth, because underneath that you'll see this should have one of these little, I don't know what the foam thing's for, but maybe sound or something, keep the weather out. Anyway, and you'll see 2 of these little deep guys here. Should be able to just kind of twist them off, or it has a flathead on there, but you should be able to do it by hand. Get those out of your way, then the foam will come off, and then beneath that we'll have, I think they're 12 mils, 4 of those, and the rubber will be sticking through these holes. You just can squish it out, and then on the side there'll be like a wiring harness kind of pushed in there, but you can squeeze the tabs, get the wiring harness, push it away from you, and then that should come off. Get that out of your way. Then you'll have the boot. Now you can weasel around the boot while it's sitting there and kind of peel up, but it's kind of a pain. So if it gets annoying like it got to me, then you can kind of give this a squeeze and kind of work it around until it finally slips up and over, and then you should be able to pop the whole boot off and get that out of your way. And then you'll have access to the 4 bolts that you need to loosen to move your reverse lockout, and then you get that adjusted accordingly. And then once it's adjusted right, then you feel satisfied, then go ahead and do everything in reverse and put it all back together.